The village of Ekoma was a small and beautiful village in the heart of Africa. Ekoma was known for their oneness, peace and unity. They lived together and always did things together. Ekoma also had beautiful and tall trees that looked exceptionally unique and special, which made people from far and near places to always visit the village for tourism and for fun. In the village lived a trader named Ayomide, but people called him Ayo. Ayo was known for his honesty and integrity, always ensuring that his dealings were fair and transparent. He was also married to his beautiful wife, Fumi, who bore him only one child whom they named Kiki. Kiki was already 10 years old, and after the birth of Kiki, Ayo's wife was unable to conceive again. Ayomide was a trader and his wife regularly comes to help him out in the shop. Ayo was the type that loved all his dealings with his customers to be pure and transparent. In the whole of the community, he sells cheaper than others and he hardly makes the mistake of withholding a customer's money. Because of this, people always comes to his shop to purchase goods. They loved his honesty and the way he interacts with people makes them feel comfortable with him. Other traders always envied him, and would go around, gossiping that there was something beyond the physical that Ayo was doing to keep his business running. One of the traders in the market boldly confronted him one of the days, to tell him the secrets behind his progress in his business and why his shop has been patronized more than others, including those that started years before he began his business. Ayomide laughed and outrightly told the man that it was just the grace of God, and the way he attended to his customers. Ayomide told him how he treats his customers with love, and told him to go back and practice what he had said, that there was nothing beyond the ordinary about his business. The man left, but he was still in great doubt about what Ayomide told him. He went back and reported to other traders who were eagerly waiting for him to report back to them. They all heard the report brought to them, but none of them believed it. To them, Ayomide was definitely hiding the truth from them. One of them said that Ayomide's progress in his business could be the reason why his wife had been unable to conceive, but another said that it couldn't be true, that those who engage in money rituals are mostly very wealthy. These traders began to hate Ayomide for no reason. They became jealous of him and began to make evil plans to pull him down, and maybe send him out of their business area. They planned and paid some of the village boys to steal goods from Ayomide's shop at night. That day, Ayomide happily closed his shop and went home to his family, without knowing that evil was already looming. He made a lot of sales that day, and he bought so many things for his wife and daughter, Kiki. They were all very happy and excited. Ayomide's wife prepared the best dinner for him. They ate and went to bed. Before then, Kiki told him that she was asked to come with her school fees the following day, and he promised to go to Kiki's school the following day, after attending to his morning customers. Kiki was happy and excited. She thanked her father and hugged him joyfully. The next morning, Ayomide got prepared and went to his business place as usual. A few meters close to his shop, he met one of his co-traders known as Kayode running towards him. Ayomide wondered what could be after him that early morning, and on getting to him, Kayode broke the sad news to him, telling him how he came to the market and saw that robbers attacked his shop, and made away with almost everything in his shop. Ayomide's heartbeat increased on hearing what Kayode said. He thought it was a prank, and in his heart, he prayed fervently that it shouldn't be true. Together, they ran back to the marketplace, and immediately Ayomide saw that his shop was wide open and almost empty. He nearly went insane. He was screaming and running around the whole place, not knowing what to think or do. This was his only source of livelihood and means of providing for his family. To top it all, the money he made throughout the previous week was all inside the shop, and the robbers made away with everything. Ayomide threw himself on the ground and cried bitterly. People were gathered around him. Some were trying to calm him down, while someone among them ran back to the village to call his wife. Ayomide's wife immediately ran down to the scene, and her eyes couldn't believe what she saw. She went to Ayomide and began to comfort him with tears running down her cheeks. She helped him lock up the shop and then took him home. The other traders who were the perpetrators were very happy, and they went back to their shops smiling. Ayomide was heartbroken, and his wife did everything she could to give him the consolation he needed at that time. While she was still on it, Kiki returned home, telling them that she was chased out of the school because she was yet to pay her school fees. This added to Ayomide's pain, but because he needed to give Kiki that confidence and hope, he braced up and promised Kiki that he would sort it out. Ayomide stayed for 5 days at home without doing anything further about his business. He needed to fully recover from the shock and start all over again. After 5 days, he went to the bank and withdrew all his life savings. He paid Kiki's school fees and used the rest to purchase new goods for his business. Those evil traders were surprised to see him back so soon, though they pretended to be happy for his return, but deep down, they were burning with anger and jealousy. Ayomide began to run his business all over again, and everything was moving very smoothly. After some days, Kiki became very ill and every medication given to her seemed not to work on her body. Instead of getting better, she kept getting worse. Ayomide and his wife were troubled and they had to take Kiki to the hospital. Though there was no money anywhere, they just had to do the needful. After the doctor examined Kiki, he told Ayomide and his wife that a surgical operation needs to be carried out on Kiki. If not, they might lose her. But the bitter part of it was that they needed to deposit a huge amount of money before anything could be done to her. Ayomide and his wife pleaded with the doctor to help them save their daughter's life. There was no money anywhere, but Ayomide promised to run around and pay the money. Despite the pleas, the doctor refused, saying it was against their ethics to carry out operations without initial deposits. He even threatened that if after 1 week and nothing was done, they would have to take Kiki home. Ayomide's wife was in tears as they left the doctor's office. Ayomide told her to stay with Kiki while he goes out to see if he can raise the money. He left the hospital with the thought of going to some of his friends to borrow money from them, but no one agreed to have any amount to spare for him. He even promised to pay back as soon as Kiki was discharged from the hospital, but they still refused to lend him the money. Ayomide was disappointed. These were the same men he had helped out in the past without them paying back. He had to go to his neighbors in the business area to ask for help, but the story remained the same. They all said that business was not moving very well for them and that they couldn't help him. The only person that agreed to help him was only able to spare 2,000 naira to him. Ayomide looked at the money with tears in his eyes. He was sitting in his shop and thinking of what to do next. Kiki was his only child and nothing should happen to her. He was still there thinking of what to do when a customer rushed into the shop. The man looked very wealthy and he even came in a car. He was in so much hurry as Ayomide attended to him. He bought a lot of things, paid Ayomide and hurriedly left the shop. He even gave Ayomide the sum of 5,000 naira for the way he attended to him. After the man left, Ayomide discovered that the man forgot a small black leather bag in his shop. The customer was long gone and Ayomide does not know him from anywhere or how to locate him. He went ahead and opened the bag, and what was inside the bag nearly threw him off balance. The bag was filled with new naira notes which was capable of changing Ayomide's life for good. He couldn't fathom what was going on as numerous thoughts ran through his head. The money inside the bag was more than enough to foot his daughter's hospital bills. Ayomide was now battling with the thought of using the money to save his daughter's life or returning it to the owner, but there was no way to contact the man. He searched deeper inside the bag again and he found 3 traveling visas and a business card with the man's information and address. He knew that those visas were very important, and after so much deliberation, Ayomide decided to return the money since he doesn't like taking things that don't belong to him. He even remembered that the man was kind enough to give him some money after buying from him. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, Ayomide's neighbor, who was close by, was taking notes of everything from her own shop, and immediately Ayomide hurried out from his shop. She called him and told him that she saw the bag the man left in his shop. She asked Ayomide what was inside the bag, and Ayomide told her the contents of the bag and how he was rushing out to look for the man and return it to him. The woman told him to his face that he was foolish and stupid. She reminded him that his daughter was still lying in the hospital and that money would go a long way for him. The woman told Ayomide to give her her own share of the money and keep the rest. Ayomide disagreed with her and was ready to return the money. He left with the intention to locate the address on the business card, but since nightfall was almost approaching, he decided to leave it till the next day. He hid the money in his house and with the little money in his hand, he bought food for his wife and daughter and took it to the hospital. To Ayomide's greatest surprise, the very first thing that his wife greeted him with was asking him where he kept the money a customer left in his shop. Ayomide was shocked to hear that, and he asked her how she got to know about it. It happened that the woman who previously asked Ayomide to give her a part of the money, had immediately rushed down to the hospital to tell Ayomide's wife what her husband was about to do. She had also gone round the village telling everyone how insensible Ayomide was, and while some criticized him for that, others wished they were the ones who found the money. They wondered how he had the mind to even think of returning the money, seeing that his daughter was dying in the hospital. After Ayomide's wife was done with the explanation, Ayomide told her that he must return the money untouched, and he was sure that God would surely make a way to save their daughter's life. Ayomide's wife was ready to create a scene in the hospital, and Ayomide had to promise her to give him till tomorrow to bring the money and pay for the hospital bill, but that was just to calm her down. The next morning, despite his friends and family advising him to keep the money, saying, "It's a lucky windfall, no one will know," Ayomide insisted on returning it to its rightful owner. Though it was a very hard decision for him, but he needed to do the right thing. Ayomide set out on the journey to find the man. He kept asking for directions until he finally found the man's house after walking for several hours. The man was indeed a very wealthy man. The house Ayomide stepped into was more than a mansion, and different cars were parked inside the compound. He was directed by the security man into the main house where he would see the man. When Ayomide got into the house and met the man comfortably sitting on the sofa, he remembered him vividly well, but the man couldn't recognize who Ayomide was. Ayomide introduced himself to the man and stated his mission. He also showed him the bag containing the money and the visas. The man was perplexed and astonished. He told Ayomide that he didn't even know that the bag was missing. He explained to him how he went to the bank and withdrew that money for his traveling, and that he was supposed to travel to Dubai with his family in 2 days. The man told Ayomide that he purposely decided to leave the bag in his car till the day they will travel, not knowing that the bag was already missing. He sincerely appreciated Ayomide and also asked about his family and where they were. Ayomide then took his time, and told him that his daughter was in the hospital and the doctors were demanding money before anything could be done on her. The man was in great shock after hearing this. He was marveled at Ayomide's level of honesty. The money in the bag was 10 times the hospital bill, yet he decided to return the money. Because of this, the man followed him to the hospital. He met with the doctors and cleared all the bills. The doctors began the operation, and after a few hours they were done and it was a success. Ayomide and his wife were very happy and appreciated the kind man for coming to their aid. The man too was happy for coming in contact with people like them. Before he left, he dropped some money for them and promised to come back the next day. Ayomide's wife was the happiest. She also remembered that if they had spent the money, the man would have had them arrested when he realized that the money was missing. She told Ayomide how sorry she was for trying to pressure him. The next day, as promised by the kind man, he came again to visit Ayomide and his wife in the hospital, but this time around, he came with his wife. After talking for a while, the man told Ayomide that they would be traveling out of the country the next day, and he had been looking for who to take over his business, but he was yet to find anyone. He said that ever since he saw Ayomide, he was convinced that he had seen the right one. He went ahead to tell Ayomide that he was handing over his business to him to run as his own, and he would also be giving him one of his houses in the city, saying it was all a reward for his honesty. Ayomide and his wife jumped in excitement and were more than grateful to the man and his wife. They appreciated them, and when they were about to leave, Ayomide followed them so the man could show him the house, and everything he needed to know about the man's business and its location. A few weeks later, Kiki was already discharged from the hospital and the family moved from the village to the city. Their lives became better and everything was moving smoothly for them. Right there in the city, Ayomide received news that the thieves who broke into his shop a long time ago had been caught, and they confessed to the villagers those who were behind it. Ayomide sighed and waved it away, knowing he has nothing with them anymore. News of Ayomide's honesty spread quickly, and soon, people from all over the village and city came to trade with him, trusting him implicitly. The story of Ayomide, the honest trader, teaches us that honesty and integrity are essential values that lead to trust, respect, and ultimate success. By doing the right thing, even when it's challenging, we build a strong reputation and earn the respect of others.